it really got me in the habit of cranking out content and improving the quality of content, which I think is so important for entrepreneurs and people who are looking to build a personal brand and an audience, is showing up consistently and learning how to do high quality content very well. I made over $100,000 last year in affiliate revenue.
You've built a real thriving community with over 2 million members. Could you talk to us a little bit, or maybe for other entrepreneurs in the audience, about how you built your community and how that's helped your business?
Absolutely. So, when I was first leaving college and university, I started my career in a family business, which happened to be a government contracting company that I had really grown up in. And I started as the COO of that company. What that meant was I was spending 150 to 200 nights a year in hotels. And I started this lifestyle website called Moderately High Maintenance, which my husband says there's nothing moderate about the high maintenance aspect of it anymore. But what that was, it was a lifestyle website that talked about travel and different experiences. And it was just a creative outlet for me to share all of my travels while I was on the road for work. It was the fun part of the, government kind of boring travel stuff. And so what that did was I set a goal for myself to be consistent with posting content. I did a blog post every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was showing up consistently on social media. Rain or shine, convenient, not convenient. It really got me in the habit of cranking out content and improving the quality of content, which I think is so important for entrepreneurs and people who are looking to build a personal brand and an audience, is showing up consistently and learning how to do high quality content very well, but also in a short amount of time. So in that whole endeavor, I started doing these collaborations with household brands. So with that consistency and that high quality content, I started doing collaborations with household names like Delta Airlines, Target, Walmart, Wayfair, a lot of these bigger brands. And I learned that showing up professionally in those types of collaborations and leveraging those connections can be huge as a jumping point off. And so when my husband and I were looking to start investing in real estate for the tax benefits here in the US, we started MHM, Moderately High Maintenance Luxury Properties. And we took all of the products and collaborations that I had done with my years of being an influencer and put that into a physical manifestation in that property itself. So people who had been with me for years could have an experience in the properties that we created. And it was so wildly successful that we opened and scaled that business to 5 more properties in 6 months, and then a multi-7-figure business that it is now in 3 years. So I think just consistency and quality of content is just one of the biggest lessons that I've learned so far in this.
So I wanted to pick up on the showing up consistently and finding a way to get out high quality content. For you, was that a trial and error thing? Like, did you sort of figure out what ended up landing better? Did you do courses? Like, where did you find how to get the good quality?
I think it was figuring out what worked, but part of that process was knowing, to a certain extent, done is better than perfect, and then figuring out the systems and the processes of repurposing content and doing the prep work. So during that time when I was learning how to create high quality, I started to batch create content. So I would do a month's worth of content in a Tuesday afternoon. I'd have a photographer. I would have, hair and makeup done. Anything that I wanted and the topics that I wanted to cover, I did the planning and the prep work so that I could do it in an afternoon, and I could plan to succeed there and batch create that content, which is something that was a little bit of trial and error in the beginning. It was taking up a lot of my time to create that high quality. It was like, how do I do this better? How do I do it faster? And how do I prepare to succeed with that? Which was something that did come with trial and error, but it was also giving myself the grace to learn and improve, and then ultimately be able to do it at a high level faster and a way that we could scale.
A lot of people see the Airbnb game in the short term rental space. You have a lot more experience than most. Could you share what are some of the pitfalls that you're seeing people kind of fall into when they start renting out property short term?
Yeah, that's a great question, David. So, one of the biggest things is they get into it thinking that it's how it was during the pandemic or even before, where just throwing up any property is going to be successful on there. There was the heyday of Airbnb where folks could just, literally put up their couch. That's how it started. And they would get bookings. And you may have seen in the news people talking about an Airbnb bust and the market is dying and all this stuff. And it is for the people who are hobby hosts. And those are the people who are not treating it like a business, who are not creating that elevated guest experience that I talked about. And the other pitfall is not automating their business from day one. So when they don't have a property management software that they're able to, make sure that they're consistently sending out those guest communications, consistently checking up on their clears and providing that upper echelon hospitality experience for people, those two things are the biggest pitfalls that I've seen.
How do you see the short term rental industry evolving over the next few years?
I see it professionalizing even more. So we're seeing a lot of over the top experiences and also people offering more and more amenities and concierge services, which I love to see. As a host that focuses on creating that elevated guest experience, I just see the cream raising to the top and the people who are doing that well continuing to grow and expand in this business, where the folks who are just hobby hosts, like I said, just continuing to do less and less well and ultimately getting out of the space. So that increases the competition, but it's also encouraging because it's something that people can do about it. They are in total control of the experience that they have for their guests. They're in control of the design that they do for their properties. They're in control of creating those systems and processes of that. And that's what I encourage people to do is just up level yourself, elevate your guest experience and who you are as a host, and you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Oh, the other thing, do you mind if I expand? Is host adding multiple streams of revenue to their business. So I mentioned before all of my years as an influencer and how we took those brand collaborations and put it into the physical property itself. So the other way that we have grown our profit in our business is we make every single one of our properties shoppable. So the guests love the sheets, they love the couch, they love the lamp. They're able to scan a QR code and it takes them to a list of everything in the property so that they can buy it. And I earn 10 to 15% of affiliate revenue on top of that. And where this is so powerful is in this digital age of Amazon shopping online, people don't get to experience products anymore. When was the last time you went to a mall? Walked in a Crate and Barrel? Probably a little bit of a while. When was the last time you got to try a product out before it showed up in your house? So turning each one of these properties, I made over $100,000 last year in affiliate revenue just from people shopping their stays. And that's what I see hosts needing to do more of to continue to grow and expand their business.
Whenever you think of property, I always just think location, 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 right? Is the experience more important than the location, or would you say that they're just two variables that contribute to the same thing?
They're both important. You can kind of get away with a lackluster location if you go really over the top with the experience. But I would say buy based on location because you can always improve the experience.
I'd like to talk a little bit about your approach to team building. You mentioned how it's important to delegate and partner. Could you talk to us about your own internal systems? How do you determine who makes a good partner, supplier, or employee?
I hire a lot just from interactions with people. And everyone on my team is handpicked, and I trust my gut a lot with it. I'm big on I'm a bit of a visionary myself, and so I have to have that integrator, the EOS system with that. But a lot of it is how I work with that person, or if somebody on my team says, "Hey, I need to delegate this portion. I like this person because I work well with them." I think the relationship aspect is huge for us. I have all the SOPs in place. We can train people fairly easily, but a lot of times I find my people out in the wild networking. Tell me more about, what you're excited about. What are you working on? What are your, just getting into what makes them tick. And you'll be surprised at who presents themselves. Somebody I just recently brought on our team as a consultant. It was a salesperson. And I was on a call that they were closing as the salesperson. And we hopped on a second call, and I said, "I want to compliment you. You were by far, that was one of the best experiences that I've had on a sales call. And it didn't feel like that. You got to the root of what I needed, yada, yada." Long story short, he's coming on and helping my team do more of that because I said, that's what I need. It's just an it factor of knowing what I like to work with, who is going to fit well with the rest of the team, and just trusting my gut on it.
So Madeleine, I want to just point people to your website, MadeleineRaiford-Holland.com. Is there anywhere else that you would like people to visit if they want to follow along with what you're doing?
You can find me on Instagram at Madeleine Raiford-Holland. And just want to note, folks, if you're listening and not looking at the show notes, I have an extra E in my name. So it's Madeleine, Raiford-Holland, Raiford, no hyphen, and socials, Holland. You can find me on Instagram there or on LinkedIn. We share a lot of content, but Instagram is really where I show up. You can see behind the scenes and really where I'm able to share more of my heart and my soul behind this business and encourage people to create that time and financial freedom through short-term rentals.
Well, thank you for talking to us today. It was a real pleasure.
Thank you, David. Thank you, Becky. Appreciate you guys.